Hello and welcome to Beautifully Balanced. Health and happiness aren't found in a bottle of prescription pills or with any fad diet. Instead, we can activate your body's natural ability to heal itself. And that is exactly what we're going to do together here. I'm Sarah Teeple, a women's integrative health practitioner, and I blend the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda with the modern science of functional medicine to help you heal your gut, rebalance your hormones, and calm anxiety naturally. Here I'll teach you the smart, sustainable, personalized, and fun way to use nutrition, herbs, and healthy lifestyle to feel vibrant, energized, and beautiful inside and out. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to Beautifully Balanced. Today we are diving into one of my favorite topics, a total trendy wellness technique called intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is something that we all actually do. So fasting is when you don't eat. And unless you're eating all day, 24 hours a day, every day, you are fasting sometimes. But there is quite a health trend of expanding your fasting window. So only eating during certain times of day. And it's even scientifically proven to be beneficial in certain cases for certain people in certain ways. But like we do on this show, we're kind of debunking that trend, or we're investigating. Is it good for everyone? Is it good for all body types? And how to do it in a way that will work for you. So in this episode, I'm going to share with you how most people actually go wrong with intermittent fasting. Why you see it working super well in the short term, but then often slowing down their metabolism, causing digestive issues, and just being unsustainable in the long term. So this is a super, super interesting topic, super applicable, super practical. You're going to come away with 4 wonderful tips about how to make intermittent fasting easy, sensible, and work for you. So I'm going to guide you just to a more sensible, sustainable way to do this that will boost your energy and your metabolism. So first off, let's do a quick intro. If you're not really familiar with intermittent fasting, we're going to talk about it. So what is it? Intermittent fasting is usually implementing a 12 to 16 hour fasting window into your day. So again, everyone fasts a little bit during the day. Unless you're eating 24/7, you are fasting or not eating during part of your day. But this 12 to 16 hour fasting window is where a lot of people can go wrong. So an example of this, if you're having a hard time understanding, like, all right, Sarah, what does this look like in my day-to-day life? What do you mean by this fasting window and this eating window? So say you have your dinner around 8 p.m. That's pretty late dinner. And then, you don't eat anything after dinner. You finish up by 8. Don't eat anything after dinner. And then the next day you wake up at 7 a.m. and you have your breakfast at 8. Well, you've done a 12-hour fasting window. And that's pretty reasonable. With intermittent fasting, it's the encouragement to go up to 14 hours, 16 hours, even an 18-hour fasting window. And so that means many people are fasting through breakfast. And so spoiler alert, the fasting window is where most people go wrong. And they inadvertently spike their anxiety and slow down their metabolism long-term by fasting through breakfast. This can also worsen digestive symptoms like heartburn, weight gain, and constipation. So a little bit later, I'm going to tell you the ideal fasting window. But first, I want to tell you what's so beneficial about intermittent fasting. So what's all the hype about? Because, of course, like most wellness trends, it is rooted in some scientific evidence. And there is quite a bit of scientific evidence that intermittent fasting can help boost your health in these following ways. Number 1, intermittent fasting can be really helpful in stabilizing your blood sugar. So a lot of Americans especially tend to eat higher carbohydrate, higher sugar foods. Those higher carb, higher sugar foods will have us just hungry more often because they're not really satisfying us. We're not getting the macronutrients, the proteins and healthy fats that we need. And so carbohydrates, especially sweetened drinks as well, sodas, your sweetened coffee, like I like to call them milkshake coffees, where people say, "Oh, I just love my coffee." And they're actually going to Starbucks, getting like the most sugary latte that's just more like a milkshake than like coffee. But so when we're ingesting those sweet, carbohydrate rich foods and drinks all day, it's going to have us just coming back for more. And it's going to have our blood sugar spiking, really high blood sugar after you eat your candy bar or your chips. And then your blood sugar is going to plummet down, leading you to reach for something else. These constant spikes and dips in blood sugar really increase inflammation in our body. And inflammation, I think we all have heard this buzzword so much. It's a buzzword for a really important reason, because inflammation drives pretty much every symptom, an unwanted symptom specifically, that we can experience. Inflammation will cause unwanted weight gain, especially around the middle. It'll increase symptoms of any pain-related condition like fibromyalgia, migraines, all different kinds of things. So intermittent fasting, when done correctly, can really help you stabilize your blood sugar. So that's a pro. And again, we're going to tell you, though, how to use these pros and make them work best for you. Number 2 of why all the hype around intermittent fasting, what's so beneficial about it. Number 2 is that by fasting, you're giving your digestive system a rest, which allows your liver to do its main job of detoxifying your body. It also gives your digestive organs, your stomach, small intestine, your colon, just a little time to do their individual jobs. So, the stomach's job is to produce hydrochloric acid and churn your food, really break it down. It's one of the first parts of your digestive process. And it shouldn't be churning 24/7. That's a really big job for your stomach to do. It shouldn't be producing hydrochloric acid 24/7 all the time. That can definitely lead to things like GERD, heartburn, acid reflux. If your stomach's having to constantly produce acid, you're just going to become more acidic and experience more symptoms of acidity in your digestion. Our small intestine needs a little time to rest too. So what's our small intestine do? It absorbs and assimilates nutrition from our food. So after your stomach churns your food into a substance called chyme, Chyme, this is like a liquidy substance, then that can pass through to your small intestine, where you can absorb and assimilate all the beautiful micronutrients from the beautiful organic food that I know you've been eating. Oh, just partially kidding. We're all just doing our best, right, with the food that we eat. I hope you're making as great of choices as you can for your body. But so your small intestine is absorbing and assimilating, kind of integrating into the rest of your body, integrating all that beautiful stuff that you eat. And then your large intestine is where all of the extra, it does a little bit of absorption, but it's also where all of the excess that you're going to defecate, eliminate, your bowels are going to move, and all of that's going to come out. So cleansing your body. But these organs work hard for us, and they need a little bit of a rest. So we want to very mindfully and intentionally give them a rest. So there are definitely some pros of intermittent fasting. Absolutely. And there are even way more benefits of stabilizing your blood sugar and allowing your liver to do its job of detoxifying your body. Those were two of the main overarching themes that I focused on, but then the downstream benefits of both of those things are amazing. So, stabilizing blood sugar helps benefit your cognitive health, your memory, your focus, your moods. Allowing your liver to do its job of detoxifying your body can help you maintain healthy cholesterol, can help you synthesize adequate amounts of important hormones. So, supporting your body in this way has just exponential benefits. But like many health trends, intermittent fasting included, this kind of general wellness way of doing intermittent fasting for, a 16, 18-hour window without really understanding the rest of the pieces, how your digestive system works, how your cortisol and other hormone production works in relation to when you're fasting. So the cons can outweigh the pros if you're doing it this usual trendy way, which might be to wake up. So I'm describing the way that most people do it, and the way that actually can be not beneficial, can be harmful to your digestive system and your stress and your anxiety. So I'm going to paint the picture for you. The way that most people do intermittent fasting, and I cannot tell you how many clients I have and have had that have been doing it the standard way, and they come to me with weight gain, with IBS type symptoms, with chronic heartburn. And this is the way of doing intermittent fasting that lots of wellness influencers, even lots of doctors and practitioners, will tell you to do it. So that's why I feel so compelled to kind of break it down, share the wrong way to do it, and explain what the right way is and why it is a better way, a more beneficial, sensible for you way. So the way that I see so many people intermittent fasting is they'll wake up, they'll fast through breakfast. So that means that, maybe they'll be surviving on coffee often. So what that does is that spikes their morning cortisol. So sometimes in order to mitigate this cortisol spike, we'll hear, do bulletproof coffee. So bulletproof coffee is you brew your coffee and then you add a healthy fat like coconut oil or ghee. And this is said to sort of mitigate the blood sugar spike and the cortisol spike, because that fat slows down the metabolism of the coffee, the caffeine metabolism, and it just helps your body not have such a big cortisol and adrenaline spike. But it can be pretty hard on your digestion. So if you want to hear more about coffee and how to do coffee in the ideal way, check out episode 14. My coffee tips. They'll be life-changing for you. I guarantee it. Especially if you have IBS type symptoms or anxiety, you need to listen to that episode. So often we'll fast through breakfast, and like most Americans, we'll just be running around doing, multitasking, getting down our to-do list, doing so many things at once. Or maybe you're even kind of sluggish and you have like a feeling of nausea or fullness in the morning because you've potentially eaten your supper too late. So of course you're not hungry for your breakfast. So then you have your coffee, but your coffee can really cause some tension in the digestive tract. That caffeine is a stimulant, and it can stimulate your stomach and your digestive organs, but stimulating those organs isn't necessarily increasing your metabolism. That's what a lot of people think. Oh my gosh, don't I want to stimulate that? But more often what it does is it kind of creates this tension. We want our stomach to be this kind of relaxed muscle. It's a muscle. And we want it to be relaxed. So when we do put food in there, it can do its job of moving and churning the food in order to start off that digestive process. But fasting through breakfast, surviving on coffee is not the way to do it. So then what happens next? We're so busy. We'll kind of snack through lunch, not really have a sit down lunch. So we haven't really had breakfast. We haven't really had lunch. With many people intermittent fasting, the first time they'll eat is maybe some kind of snack around 10 or 11 a.m. So that's when they end their fasting window, so 10 a.m. And then they'll, maybe have a little snacky lunch, but then they'll get home from work. They are ready. They're super hungry. They're ravenous, of course, because they haven't eaten much during the day and their body is starved of nutrition. So they get home, they're snacking on some chips and salsa while they make their supper. And then they have this big full dinner because, again, they're ravenous. But by that point, by the time they're eating dinner, by the time they're eating most of their calories and ingesting most of their nutrition, what's happened to their gut over the course of the day? This is what's really important to highlight. And what has happened during the course of the day is that they have told their digestive system, their metabolism, they've told it to slow down because their digestive system, metabolism, or in Ayurveda, we call it your Agni, it's gotten the message, I'm not going to give you any food. I'm not going to give you any nutrition, digestive system. So you need to chill out. You need to slow down your metabolism. You need to not expect anything. You need to suppress your function and your action. And do you think we want to suppress our metabolism and our digestion? No, we don't. Especially during the most active part of our day. We want to be eating and consuming great nutrition during this active part of our day, during midday. Ayurveda says that your Agni, or your digestive fire, is highest at this midpoint of the day between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And that's called Pitta time of day. Pitta is one of the Ayurvedic doshas. And we've got a lot of episodes if you want to learn more about Pitta and the Ayurvedic doshas. So I hope you can see that I'm painting this picture of a flow that often intermittent fasting is creating, this sort of digestive flow and this digestive picture where we're turning down our metabolism and we're actually driving digestive issues. So then, we've been starved all day, so we eat a huge supper, and then we're usually maybe kind of snacking through to bedtime. So maybe we've had our supper at 6 p.m., but then our body still wants more nutrition. So we're snacking while we watch Netflix or something until maybe 8 p.m. So you've finished eating for the day around 8 p.m., or many people are snacking, later into the night. But let's just say, for the example of our intermittent fasting window here, you finished eating by 8 p.m. You had your first morsel of food for the day at 10 a.m. So you've done a 14-hour intermittent fasting window, and you're all proud of yourself. Oh, yes, I've done it. I've done this 14-hour intermittent fasting window. But the messages that you've given to your metabolism and your digestion are basically messages to slow down. And eating late at night definitely kind of just makes everything more sluggish. It clogs the channels. It's a lot of work for the liver and for your digestive organs to go to bed with a more full belly. And it certainly perpetuates then you not being hungry for breakfast in the morning. It also would contribute to feelings of sluggishness, dullness, just low energy for the first part of your day, which is then going to make you really want your bulletproof coffee. So the cycle continues. And I hope my illustration has given you sort of the evidence, has painted the picture of how most people are doing it, how even many wellness influencers, doctors, and practitioners encourage us to do intermittent fasting. But I hope you can kind of understand a little bit more why that wouldn't work for your body, and even take a moment to take a nice deep breath and feel into your body, feel into your digestive tract, and think about what you want to cultivate there. You want to cultivate a sense of lightness, of movement. You want that Agni, that digestive fire, to burn bright. So here are my 4 tips of how to do intermittent fasting the Ayurvedic way, or a sensible way that is going to work for you. Tip number 1, aim for a 13-hour daily fast, but aim for a fasting window closer to 7 p.m., so in the evening, finishing your supper by 7 p.m., to 8 a.m. the next day, having your breakfast by about 8 a.m. That is a really healthy intermittent fasting window of 13 hours. And one great part about this is if you're finished eating by about 7 p.m., by the time you go to bed, let's hypothetically say around 10 p.m., most of your supper is going to be digested, but you won't have time to work up a really big appetite for a before bed snack. So this just gives your digestive system a lot of good time to rest, detox, rejuvenate while you're sleeping. And how I talked about that Pitta time of day, midday, where our Agni, our digestive fire, is the brightest. So there's a Pitta time of day where our small intestine and stomach are really rocking, ready to eat some food. There's also a Pitta time of night where our liver is the most active. And that Pitta time of night is 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. And you really want your body to not be digesting food actively during that time, because this enables the liver to really detoxify and do its job. And when your liver is detoxifying, you get better sleep. Again, your body has all those other great liver benefits, like producing healthier hormones, like achieving a better cholesterol level naturally, all these things that the liver does for us, just detoxifying the chemicals that we accumulate during the day. So we don't want to be digesting a big night snack during that pitta time of night, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. So ideal intermittent fasting window, finish your supper by 7, eat breakfast around 8. The second tip is to eat breakfast within 2 hours of waking. So if we fast too far into our day, this often really spikes our cortisol and our adrenaline. And I see so many clients with stress overdrive and adrenal overdrive issues. So if you've got anxiety, if you just feel overwhelmed, you're definitely in adrenal overdrive or just stress overdrive. So you want to give your body some sensible, nourishing nutrition within 2 to 3 hours of waking. And we should note that Ayurveda encourages early waking. So, you might say, well, yeah, I slept until 10 a.m. And so then I'll have my breakfast, at noon. So I'm still getting that intermittent fasting window. But that type of morning, that schedule is really going to make your metabolism and your energy very sluggish. So Ayurveda would recommend that you be waking, anytime between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. are ideal wake times. And then having your breakfast, a nice, healthy, nourishing breakfast. I love to have pasture-raised eggs and vegetables and this slice of really great gluten-free sourdough toast. Every morning, my partner makes it, and he's the best egg cook. But things like oatmeal, or I'll often do like an oatmeal bowl, but with quinoa instead of oats, because quinoa has more fiber and more protein. And I need that good protein at my age and with my blood type and dosha. So just a couple tips there around breakfast. But number 3, tips for healthy intermittent fasting. Let your appetite be your guide, but establish a routine with meals. So we want to eat when we're truly hungry. And often with intermittent fasting, people are suppressing their appetite or ignoring their appetite. And in Ayurveda, we never want to ignore our body's signals. We want to listen to our beautiful body. We want to be allies with our beautiful body. So listen to your body, but do your best to establish a rhythm and a routine with meals. So don't listen to your body necessarily, or don't let your body override your higher wisdom of these tips that I'm giving you. So if you wake up and you feel groggy and not hungry, I don't want you eating a really big breakfast, but do try to have something nourishing and small so you can then get on this schedule of eating a little bit earlier in the day. I like to tell clients that the calories that you eat before like 11 a.m., they're almost free calories. They're just like free energy. Your body's just burning through them. Your body's using that nutrition. And please don't misunderstand me and think that I'm espousing counting calories, because I'm not. But I'm just saying we really want to shift that eating window up a little bit earlier in the day. So number 4, last but not least, tips for healthy, sensible intermittent fasting is prioritize meals over snacks. So when you're establishing this routine with meals, think 3 sit-down, cooked meals a day. Small meals are okay if you're not, hungry for a super big meal, but we're talking real food here. Often when people say, oh, I'm just not that hungry for meals, they're not hungry because what they're doing is snacking all day on kind of this munchy, crunchy, bliss point food. And by that, I mean, Ayurveda calls it tasty food. They say, don't eat tasty food. I'm doing air quotes, which is kind of funny because you want your food to taste good. But what they mean by tasty food are things like chips, cookies, candy, pretzels, even nuts and trail mix. Sometimes those can just be these kind of munchy, snacky things, and we're overeating those and undereating real cooked sit-down meals like soup, like vegetables and quinoa, like, all kinds of cooked veggies. I'm thinking of a beautiful white bean chili, maybe with some organic chicken and tons of vegetables. We want these deep, nourishing, cooked foods, proteins, vegetables, complex carbohydrates. So I hope that this episode has been illuminating and fun for you to listen to. I hope maybe if you've been doing intermittent fasting and maybe it's been serving you in some ways, but you're having digestive issues or you're starting to have weight gain or you're feeling really sluggish in the morning and it's starting to feel unsustainable, like it's just not completely serving your body's needs. I hope that this has given you the empowerment and the understanding to see why doing intermittent fasting kind of the mainstream way is not the way to do it. And now you have your Ayurvedic tools to do it in a more sensible, sustainable way. If you have any questions, please reach out to me at hello@sarahteeple.com or come visit me on Instagram at Teeple Holistic or come visit me on my website. And as always, I've loved being here with you and I will see you soon. Keep up the great work. Thank you for being here with me today. Remember, you can feel your best naturally. Just try one new thing a week that you learn here and watch your body and life transform. And if you're ready to take this to the next level, learn your dosha, get your personalized holistic plan, and live beautifully balanced, you've got to come see me at sarahteeple.com. That's SARAHTEEPLE.com. There you can learn about how to work with me one-on-one or book a free holistic chat and just tell me what you're working on. I love to hear from you and help you live your best life. So until next time, be well. Oh, and if you love this conversation, please rate and review our podcast. That really helps more people find natural healthcare options. Thanks again and see you soon.